Okay, Taylor. Just everybody so you know, this is my sister-in-law, Taylor. Want to take just a second to say hi?
Hello.
All right. So, Taylor has type 1 diabetes. How old were you when you got diagnosed?
I was 25 in the middle
Okay,
of grad school.
in the middle of grad school. Not fun. What does your daily routine look like with type 1 diabetes?
Um, so kind of an interesting question. I feel like for a lot of it, it really depends on the supplies that you have as a diabetic and what yeah, just what different things you have. For example, when I was first diagnosed and for a while, I meant first waking up meant I was immediately finger pricking, checking my sugar levels, and then going about giving myself a long-lasting dose of insulin, and then prepping for, okay, what am I going to eat for today, and trying to think through my long lasting insulin and my short acting insulin. And so that was how it was at first. And now that I have a pump and I have the supplies that I need and I have a sensor, it's really nice because I wake up, I check my pump, see where I'm at. And so that shortens that process a ton.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, the first thing is to make sure that my blood sugars are stable in the morning. And then depending on if I when I'm exercising, I'll reduce my insulin rate to make sure that I'm or try and prevent going low while I'm exercising. And, and if I'm doing that in the morning and then preparing for breakfast, and then it's just a matter of checking my sugars a bajillion times during the day. Not having to finger prick as much as I used to, but yeah, just checking my pump all the time and then those notifications. And then before I go to bed, I just need to make sure that my blood sugars are pretty stable. That even if they're going up and down, that it's small curves, not giant dramatic ones. So
yeah.
once my blood sugar is stable, then I can go to bed.
Okay. Um, okay, so I can already see some of the obstacles that have gone into that, but what are some obstacles that you frequently are running into with type 1 diabetes?
Um, so one of the big ones that I mentioned is with exercise, is really trying to plan exercise. Initially when I was just learning how to survive with this, it was tricky to figure out, okay, how when I would exercise, I would end up having to drink a lot of juice because I was dropping low all the time. And then it was frustrating because I actually started gaining weight when I first got diagnosed because I was drinking more juice even though I was exercising because it increased my overall caloric intake. So, figuring out how to reduce my basal rate on my insulin pump, different things like that, so that I can not have to rely fully on a bunch of juice, but hopefully the things that I'm naturally eating and my preparation
Yeah,
is, yeah, I would say exercise. And then just, yeah, even when you try and plan and prepare, you'll still find yourselves in situations where you're like, oh, I didn't anticipate this. And it's like, oh shoot, I took I had three juice boxes, but someone took them out of the car yesterday, and now I have to find something. So I guess just the constant planning and preparing.
yeah, for sure. Don't want to be caught without your juice.
Yes.
Um, so have you ever felt judged or stereotyped for having type 1 diabetes?
Yeah. Diabetes is rough because overall there's just a lot of misconceptions and things that people don't really understand about it. And I find myself getting a little defensive or worried that people think that I have type 2 diabetes. But that's not fair either because type 2 diabetes is complex and gets a bad rap. And though there's a lot of lifestyle factors that lead to type 2, there's also so many genetic components,
Yeah.
just so many other things. So yeah, I think, there are times when I, say that I have diabetes and people were like, "Oh, so should you be eating what you're eating?" And it's like, "Yeah, I have type 1. I have type 1, so I can eat whatever I want as long as I am my own pancreas." But two, that maybe shouldn't be something that you say to any diabetic, regardless of,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's interesting to have a disease that I don't know. There's probably others, but it's interesting to have a disease that is so affected by what you eat. And unfortunately, our lives revolve around food, even if we don't want them to. We need constant nourishment. So there's a lot of, I don't know. It's hard because it's not something that ever goes away. Like you're dealing with it all the time. It's always on the back burner of your brain. But yeah, hopefully that answers that question. But
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of
that's great.
people I can tell by the way they're talking to me, they don't understand. And so they think I have type 2 because they're saying I shouldn't have things. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me about this, and I'm sure everybody will appreciate it.
yeah, happy to do it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.